Hi guys, and welcome to Regrouping with Mrs. Wu. This is going to be awesome. So, we regroup when we use the algorithm for addition and subtraction. So we're going to practice doing that today. So our first question is 1 438 thousandths plus 7 tenths. So the most important part, or the best first step is to make sure that your numbers are correctly written on your place value. I know this looks like a larger number, but you have to make sure that you line up the place value, that you line up the decimal points. So in the first number, you have your decimal point and you have 1 to the left of the decimal point, then 4 in the tenths place, 3 in the hundredths place, 8 in the thousandths place. So that's your first number. Your second number, there's a decimal place, and on the left side there's a 0, and then there's a 7 in the tenths place. So the second number, I'm adding these together. The second number doesn't have any hundredths or thousandths, but if you wanted to, you could just put a 0 there. You could put a 0 there, and that doesn't change the value of this number. So you're going to add these together. Now, when you're using the algorithm for addition, you always start with the smallest place value. In this case, the smallest value is thousandths. So you're going to add 8 plus 0, that equals 8. 3 plus 0 equals 3. And then I've got 4 plus 7. So 4 plus 7 is 11, right? But when you're regrouping, you don't want to have two digits in the same place value for your final answer. So if I've got 10 tenths, I'm going to just draw them out real quick. Or not 10 tenths, I'm going to have 11 tenths. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 tenths. Well, I can take 10 of those 11 tenths and trade them for 1, 1. And that's what I'm going to do. So that's going to leave me with 1/10 left over, and then I'm going to regroup and put my 1, 1. So that I've got 4 tenths plus 7 tenths equals 11 tenths. So 1/10 is here, and 1, 1, which is equivalent to 10 tenths, I'm adding in the ones place. So now I'm going to add 1 plus 1. My answer there is 2. So my final answer, I'm going to erase this now that we've regrouped. My final answer is going to be 2 138 thousandths. So that's my answer. 2 138 thousandths. Okay, and that's how I regroup. So I'm going to do the same process, but with subtraction. So with subtraction, it looks a little bit different, but it's exactly the same idea. Alrighty, that takes a long time, sorry. Okay, so if I'm subtracting, I've got, the most important part here is to make sure that I have, with subtraction, the larger number always has to be first. And even though this number looks larger, this number has 4 in the ones place. This one has 3 in the ones place. So this is a larger number. So it needs to come first. So 4 9/10, 400ths. Okay. That's how I would write this number on my place value chart. And I'm going to subtract 3 ones in my decimal point and 2 tenths, 800ths, 1,000th. So this first number does not have a value in the thousandths place, but I can put a 0 there. You don't have to put a 0 there, but I put a 0 there just so that I can keep track of what's going on. Okay, so now when you subtract, you always have to take the number from the bottom, the smaller number, from the top, right? The smaller number overall, not the smaller digit in each place value. So I'm going to take 1 away from 0. And I know some of you are tempted to take 0 away from 1 because that is easier to do. But in this case, you have to take 1 away from 0. Now, if I don't have anything here, I can't take 1 away from nothing. So I need to put a value in the thousands place. So what I'm going to do is regroup. I'm going to take 1 away from the hundredths place. And remember, 100th equals 10 thousandths. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 thousandths, right? Now I can take 1 away from that. So if I've got 10 thousandths and I take 1 away, that leaves me with 9 thousandths. And I started off with 4 hundredths here, but because I regrouped here, I've only got 3 left. So I've got 3 hundredths. I need to take away 8 from 3. So 8 is a much bigger number than 3, so I don't have enough hundredths. So I need to regroup again. So I'm going to take one of the tenths, and instead of 9 tenths, I'm going to have 8 tenths. And I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more hundredths. So that would give me 13 hundredths. So instead of 3 hundredths, now I've got, because I regrouped, I took 1/10 and I gave myself 10 more hundredths. Now I've got 13 hundredths. 13 minus 8 is 5. And now it's a little bit easier. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 3 ones is 1. So my final answer is going to be 1 and 659 thousandths. So that's my answer. 1 and 659 thousandths. Okay? So I hope that helps you. And we'll talk more about it this week. Bye.